Okay, here is a little bit of brand transparency, is that I don't wear makeup in all my blog posts. I don't wear makeup or do my hair in my Instagram post because, one, I don't want to. Two, I'm busy. Three, I don't feel the need to like try and pretend to be something that I'm not, and that is what society kind of made a lot of us do, I feel like, but me specifically I'm talking about, is trying to be someone you're not. And I mean, I understand like being professional and being, polite, professional, courteous, societally correct, whatever you want to call it. But I think that transparency is where people relate. And so if you read my blog post last night about the anger of death, a Thanksgiving edition, I just like straight up showed you how pissed I can get about my mom's death, and how like I'm a fierce person and I'm like an extremely passionate, like loud person. Like I feel bad for this next baby because I'm gonna be like, I love you. And it's gonna be like, oh my gosh, you're startling me. But I didn't think I was like a super angry person. Like I try to like if I'm like angry about something or like mad about something or something's just like really frustrating me, I don't necessarily like sit in that feeling for a long time. If you're like an Enneagram person, I'm a type 7. I just like, I feel it, I acknowledge it, and then I disperse and I go do something fun to, I guess like not waller in it. Like I don't sit in that stuff for a very long time. One, because it's very uncomfortable. Two, because I feel like I could potentially get sucked into a black hole of depression because like I have addiction that runs through my family, and I don't think it's very safe for me to be. I don't feel safe in that. But I'm learning to process my emotions and sit with them maybe a little bit longer than 5 seconds. And so going back to brand transparency is that my Basically B Squared brand, whether it's my blog, whether it's my mentorship, or whether it is my photography, Bailey, me, I am the brand. And it is therapeutic for me. I feel like my goal is to relate to others and help others in ways that I've already experienced. And I know like during this video, I'm only 27 years old, but I've been through more in my short lifetime right now than most people will go through in their entire lifetime. And not to say that out of like, oh, woe is me, poor pitiful me, but I've got some notches under my belt. I've got some experience under my belt. And experience trumps knowledge, because you can know something, but just because you know something doesn't mean you fully understand it to the depth of level that someone could understand it that has been through something that is traumatizing, that has been through something that is heartbreaking, gut-wrenching, just awful. And I'm not saying that like my whole life has been awful. I'm just saying there's been a lot of bad stuff and a lot of good stuff. So brand transparency. I tried to, look to other bloggers and look to other photographers and stuff like that, and just consume or, take in a little bit of information about what they were doing. Because like, if someone, don't try and reinvent the wheel, right? But then I was like doing what someone else would have done, and it wasn't necessarily something that I felt good about, that I liked. And I'm to a point in my life where I want to like something. I want to like it. I want to feel that it is like on the path where I want to be. So I stopped consuming. I stopped taking in all the information about other bloggers and other branding and other this. Now, all that's good because it got me as far as I am today. But now I'm just trying to trust my gut, trust what I already know, trust who I am as a brand, what colors on my website that I like, and not trying to appease a client, like not trying to attract a client, but just being who I truly am, and whatever that brings is whatever that brings. And like, that's what God meant to place in my life. It's not something that I am like actually seeking out. I am seeking to relate with people, to put out more good in the world, and to be a mentor in the area that was designed for me to mentor in. Like, I'm probably not going to mentor you of how to code a website because I'm not a tech person. And when I'm literally sitting in my sketchy basement right now. I have been with my blue blockers on in my basement. What did Emma draw back here? I don't even know. I've been in my basement trying to code my website, and it frustrates me. That's not somewhere I'm going to mentor you. Where I can mentor you is single motherhood, child abuse, heartbreak, worthiness, being on the path that God actually designed for you, and not trying to be a people pleaser or running from your own emotions, womanhood, motherhood, absolute unawareness of your own life, and like not being fully present in your own life, young women, like the list could go on. These are things that I have substantially had full-on, hands-on research about over the last 10 years of my life. And that's where I feel comfortable. That's where I feel led. Not even necessarily that it's a choice that I can make. Like, straight up, like, this is the path that God put me on. And I'm no longer someone's employee. I'm straight up doing basically B squared. I'm trying to trust myself. Like, in the sense of who God made me to be. Not necessarily trusting myself, but trusting what God has put in me, and that the feeling is valid because I've prayed about it, because I've spoken to Jesus about it, not because I'm just like going off a whim and freaking out over this thing that I want to do. So, brand transparency. I'm going to be myself. Sometimes it's going to look like bougie and have some makeup on. And sometimes it's going to look like this. Sometimes I'm going to be in my sketchy basement with a really ugly wall color that I don't like, on a sketchy board that I hung up because I was going to write cute stuff on, but just didn't do that. And I'm sick, and I haven't brushed my teeth. And brand transparency. Be yourself, whether that is in your life, at your job, on your branding, in your relationships, at your church. Be yourself, because if you're not, you're doing a disservice to yourself.